They say soccer is the beautiful game. While we can debate about that all day, there definitely are some beauts in the stands. And while you're either focused on the scenery in the crowd or the action on the pitch, one thing is for sure. If a football comes to you in the crowd, you're not going to be able to keep it. And like my previous videos on this subject, I'm going to tell you why. Before I get into this, I want to thank SeatGeek for making this video possible. SeatGeek is an app that aggregates ticket prices from all over the web, gives them a color-coded and numerical rating to let you know if you're getting a good deal, lets you see the view from your seats before you buy, and is done safely and securely right on your phone. If you are a fan of the US men's national soccer team, you won't be needing the SeatGeek app anytime soon, but know that you can buy tickets for not just sporting events, but concerts too on SeatGeek. Download the app from the link below, use my code FPG in the Me tab, and get $20 back on your first order. SeatGeek! As you've seen in my previous videos on this subject, you can keep the ball/puck at the following events: baseball, hockey, and in most cases, American football. You absolutely cannot keep the ball at a basketball game, nor can you keep the curling stone if it were to fly into the crowd, though getting splashed with beer is more likely. And no, you cannot keep an Indy car if it ends up in the stands either. The reason you can't keep a basketball that goes into the stands is because they use one ball throughout an entire basketball game. Soccer used to, and in many cases still does, employ the one ball rule, but that has since changed over the years, and now when balls fly out into the stands, ball boys are quick to throw new balls back onto the pitch, and play resumes in the name of timely efficiency. Which is funny because a lot of soccer is indeed watching time just evaporate off the clock. But why can't you keep a soccer ball that goes into the crowd? The answer is actually pretty simple. Soccer teams and soccer organizations are fucking cheap. You heard that right. The ball retails for about $200, and most lower level clubs cannot afford to lose the ones that are rocketed into the crowd off of errant shots. The assumption is that since the rule is enforced at lower levels, it should be uniform across the board. So billion-dollar organizations like FIFA, the Premier League, La Liga, etc. use the excuse that poorer teams can't afford stuff to be cheap bastards. You would think that the second excuse is that there are only a certain amount of broken in balls to use for the game. Not true. Most clubs have 5 to 12 broken in official balls ready to go, and FIFA has about 15 to 20 balls ready to go per game. One thing that is interesting is that typically each ball boy is assigned only one ball, and once they throw their ball into the pitch, they are done with it. Some scummy managers in the pro leagues have removed ball boys from the field later in games in order to waste more time off the clock. It's only cheating when the other team does it, right? Now, I looked all over for official policies regarding what happens to balls that fly into the stands in each league, but the Premier League seemed to have decent outlines for the scenario. They essentially allow the ref to choose either the one-ball system or multi-ball system, in which the ref has authority over which balls are used, etc. Under the one-ball system, though, the ball has to be brought back to the pitch. Also, it's announced multiple times to the crowd that they have to return the ball to the stadium staff if it flies into the stands. So from a legal precedent, this is the framework for which the crowd understands that they have to return the ball. In fact, in the MLS, it's written into the fan code of conduct that they return the ball, mostly because the MLS should be very concerned about their bottom line. FIFA has no official outlines for balls going into the stands, but again, it's assumed that it's returned. So from a legal standpoint, given the various laws and regulations that are different from league to league and country to country, it's pretty clear. Whether spelled out in writing or a customary tradition, soccer teams are cheap as hell. So now what happens if you try to keep the ball? It's very rare, but if you try and keep the ball, you're not only going to have to give it back, but your ass is probably going to be tossed out of the stadium. And depending on which one you're in and how drunk you are, you'll probably get a nice ass whipping from a few hooligans waiting in the parking lot as you tried to stall the game when your team was leading. Here's a few incidents where some dumbass fans tried to keep it and what subsequently happened. This dude tried to hide the ball under his shirt and then claim he didn't have it. He ignored security multiple times. It is, however, unclear whether he got to keep the ball or not, but this is probably one time where being a fat piece of shit works out to your benefit. Here's another incident where a fan got the ball and tried to hightail it out of the stadium before security got to him. That's the problem with a drunk fan. You have to be just drunk enough to think you can pull it off and sober enough to actually pull it off. I like how the security guard simply boxes him out, realizing he's no threat considering this dumbass just tripped like Mark Sanchez running into his fat lineman's ass. So there you have it. The reason you can't keep the ball is because soccer doesn't give a damn about its fans and is amazingly cheap. If you want one of those fancy balls with all the flair on it, better skip the awful lunchtime burger at the Script Club and spend your $200 on something useful. Well, I hope you learned something new today. Don't forget to download the SeatGeek app and use my code FPG in the Me tab and get $20 back on your first order. Please leave a like, comment on this video, watch the other vids in this series, and subscribe for more sardonic and smart-ass commentary from me. I might do this for cricket and tennis next. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.
Roger said he didn't want me in the Script Club. I was like, well, I don't think nothing wrong with going to the Script Club. It ain't no sin to go to the Script Club, you know. I was just being rebellious, you know.